Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited for today's guest because he is a familiar face to everyone. So I have to start off with saying, Happy Friday Eve, Greg Morgan.
That's right. It's Friday Eve.
Yes, it's Friday Eve. This is so exciting to have you with us here today on the show because we work together. For those of you who don't know, we worked together. And why don't you know if you don't know?
Yeah, where were you?
Where were you for those 10 years that we were waking up at 3 a.m? But Greg and I worked together at CBS 7 in Odessa, Texas for 10 years, Greg. And you were there even longer than me. You got there as fast as you could.
Yeah, I came with the building.
Yeah, Greg came with the building. But we got to spend so much time together, raise our kids and talk family and work. And for 10 years, we got to spend the mornings with everyone in West Texas.
Yeah.
And I delivered the news and Greg delivered the weather and all the funny stuff. He's the funny guy. Yeah.
The one with a good personality.
That's great. That's great. So thank you so much for being here today.
Oh,
How have you
great.
been?
I've been great. Yeah, I'm so glad you called and said, hey, come on down. So this is good.
Me too. It is so much fun because half of what we did really was we just talked every morning. I mean, we had the best job if you think about it.
Really did.
Yeah, I used to tell people Greg has the best job because he can be wrong like 50% of the time and still
stay
keep his
employed.
job.
That's right.
Well, you're the weatherman. Yeah,
Me and
that's
politicians. That's it. You know, it's the only ones that can do that.
That's right. So the number one question I get asked the most, where's Greg? Well, besides, does Greg still drink a lot of coffee?
Still do, yes.
Where's Greg? What's he doing now? So tell us, where is Greg? What's he doing now?
So, of course, after our stint in television came to an end,
By choice.
Yes, by choice. Well, you'd left, and I felt like I was
Right.
getting a divorce. And so
I'm sorry. It was hard getting up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
with 4 kids for 10 years. And that's the thing. I loved what we did. And I loved the people that we got to work with.
Absolutely.
It's just at some point you got to think, is this healthy?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, and then, so, all good things come to an end.
Come to an end.
So, after I left television, of course, for those of you who don't know, when I did weather, of course, we did, weather in the morning.
Right.
But then I ran a construction business in the afternoons. And
Yeah.
so, I'd go home, get out of my suit, get on my work clothes, and I'd go work another 8 or 10 hours doing construction.
Which explains why you drink so much coffee.
Exactly.
Yes.
Learned to get no sleep. So I did that, and so my dad was a commercial real estate appraiser. So kind of growing up, I always had a little bit of a real estate background. I could build properties, and so as it turned out, the owner of our station, when he sold the station, said, hey, if you want to come over to properties. And so I worked in properties and quickly worked my way up to director of construction. That's kind of a hat I still wear.
Right.
And then just about 18, 19 months ago, they said, who wants to go over and run the mall in the middle of a pandemic?
And Greg, because Greg says yes to, really, almost anything.
Almost
anything. Greg said, I'll do it. I love that.
Yeah, I love a challenge.
And you did it, and you stepped into that role so beautifully. I've seen you out there. You're loving what you're doing.
I do. If you told me, 10 years ago, this is what I'd be doing, I'd said, you're crazy. No way. But I've always thrived on a challenge. Love it. And it's 750,000 square feet, over 100 stores. I mean, there's always a challenge involved in it. So I really thrive in that.
I bet every day is a new day.
It is.
There's something that comes up. Pipe burst. There was a fall on aisle 7. Or, think about it.
You would be shocked at the stuff people flush down toilets.
Oh, Greg.
Oh, you
That's
would
for
not.
another day.
Yeah, that's
for another
like
day.
blue jeans. Like stuff you would just. It's like, how did that even get in there?
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. There's always a challenge. It's fun.
I should say I'm surprised, but I'm really not surprised. Well, I love that. I love that you're doing something that you love and that you're so good. Greg was always good at anything he did, but the weather. He was, and I may be a little bit biased here, but the best weatherman. And still to this day, I will text him from time to time and go, do you think it's really going to be as bad as the TV people are saying? Because I trust you. So tell me about your love for weather, because I know that was something you were truly passionate about, and you told me you still follow the weather to this day.
I do, yeah. That's something I don't think I'll ever get rid of.
Right.
So it was all kind of funny. When I first I decided I wanted. I was always kind of the good personality guy. So, I was a comedian.
I actually met one of his high school teachers one day, and they said he was the good personality guy. Oh, that's great.
So I did stand up comedy for a while,
Yeah.
and I really loved doing comedy, but I hated being on the road 300 days a year.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And so I said, gosh, I want to do something different, and so I was spending some time in Amarillo, where my brother lived at the time, and I just got to see some tornadoes, and I just kind of fell in love with weather and the science of it, and I was like, you know what, that's great. I like weather. I love entertaining people. I'll be a weatherman.
Perfect.
And so I went back to school, got my degree in geosciences, and then started doing weather, and I just I don't think that's something I'll ever get rid of. I still chase when I can.
Yeah, because you used to. I mean, literally, you know how the rest of us are all running from the storms. Not Greg. Greg's running to the storms.
Yeah.
And I remember one day. I mean, you were out like, I want to say 48 hours. You went up to Oklahoma one time and you were gone. And I'm like, he's actually going towards it. This is crazy. How did that love foster? Just got you.
It just got me. It was just, and I had it down to a science. I used to be able to make it from here to around like Woodward, Oklahoma, somewhere in that area, maybe northwest Oklahoma, and I could chase until dark and then turn around and drive back and get here in time to start the show.
Oh my goodness!
I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, sometimes you would be rolling in right at 5:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. and
literally running through the door.
Yes. And make it. And it's so cool because I think it's important to do things that you're passionate about in life. And I love that you were able to mix the two. And here's a little known fact about Greg Morgan. He was a rodeo clown.
Bullfighter, yeah.
Yes.
Bullfighting,
Okay. So bullfighting. I knew that. I knew that. I thought I'd share that today.
Yeah.
But I think that's awesome that you were able to do something you love for so long, and that you're still continuing to do it. And so, what do you think of like? I don't know, when you see the weather and what it's doing now, and because I don't know, this is I am not a professional. Just thought I'd throw this out there. But it seems like the wind has not stopped blowing, and I don't know how long here in West Texas.
No, it was
Do you
March.
see the
It's
weather?
already month.
Okay.
It's historically.
So this is normal.
It's just pretty normal. In fact, last year was actually kind of abnormal. We didn't get a whole lot of wind in March. We got a whole bunch of rain, and now of course we're seeing the fires and stuff. Because we had all that rain, all the vegetation really grew. That died over the winter. Now you get all these fuels, and now it's a windy March, and so we're getting these big wildfires blowing up over Texas and stuff. So it's
It's awful.
It's just the way it goes down sometimes.
Yeah.
But it does go through little cycles like that.
So has the weather pattern changed a lot that you've seen over the last 20 years since you've been chasing?
It goes through some little cycles, but
Yeah.
I mean overall not much. I mean it's almost what you'd expect. In fact, I was just right before we did this, I was actually on CBS 7's news app, and they were talking about a program change because of March Madness. And I remember one time I actually had to cut in over, I think it was the third game of the Final Four basketball tournament.
Oh, that's not good, Greg. The phone calls came in that day.
I still got hate mail like 10 years later. And it is just, that kind of flashed back to me. I was like, oh, wow, programming change. Yay.
That's so funny you say that, because the other day when I saw March Madness, I thought, oh, yay, if we were still working together, we would have gotten the noon show off.
We would have. We always look forward to that.
We'd be like, March Madness on a Friday, we get the noon show off. We get to go home early. So that's so funny you noted the program change, because I thought the exact same thing, but close. Yeah.
So it's really kind of just that time of year. We start to see the severe weather season ignite. We get the winds.
Yeah.
It's just that time of year. It's wild.
Wild explains it all. Yes, and so is life. That's right.
But that was always the cool thing about chasing, is you could, to be able to like identify like a 20 or 30 square mile area out of the United States and say that's where a tornado will be at 6 o'clock in the evening, and actually drive there and see it happen. It's really cool.
Really cool for Greg. Once again, I think you're a little crazy, Greg, but that's okay. That's what makes this work.
You're not the only person that said that to me. I don't know. It's me.
Well, we've already passed February, and of course, I always asked you after Punxsutawney Phil, saw a shadow or didn't. So, is Punxsutawney Phil right this year?
Yeah, I think I didn't catch that part about it. What did
I don't either. See, I used to look religiously.
I think he did see a shadow, so
Which
more
means
winter.
More winter. Okay.
Historically, his forecasting record is way worse than mine.
Yeah.
So
how he keeps his job, nobody knows.
Yeah. He's cute.
He's a cute little rodent or whatever he is.
that's what it boils down to. No, I think we're probably just about done with winter.
Okay.
We might get that one last little cold snap, you know. We always
Yeah.
kind of joke about that. We get that when it snowed on Easter.
I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember bundling the kids up, and they're looking for Easter eggs in full snow gear
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
April.
Yeah. It was so.
So you think one more?
I think we probably have one more good cold snap left in us. Even this morning, you know, it got down to freezing, and one of our guys came in. He said, "You didn't tell me it was going to freeze."
So people still ask you about the
Oh,
weather.
daily.
Daily. I love that.
Got a little shelf life left, I guess.
I love it. You sure do. Anytime you want to come here and talk weather, you've got a lot of shelf life on this show.
All right, we'll
You
do
are
it.
always invited. Well, it is. It's about 10 after, Greg, and so at 10 after on the show, we always pick a quote of the day because you know me, I love quotes, right?
Okay.
And so we're gonna let you pick.
Okay.
And we're gonna read it, and then you tell me what this quote means to you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Oh, you got the giving quote. Spread love everywhere you go, Mother Teresa. Oh, that's a good one. What does
That's
that mean
awesome.
to you?
I mean, you treat everyone great. You know, even the ones that don't deserve it, treat them good.
Even the ones that don't treat you great.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, it's true. It is
you'll
true.
Win. You'll win
Yeah.
at the end of the day. You know, you were always so good about that. You know, just keeping a positive attitude.
Thank
You know,
you.
me, I was like, you know, I hate you, and I hate me, and I hate me again, and I hadn't even left the driveway. You know, so
And I'd be in there going, "Hi, Greg. Happy Monday. I know it's 3 a.m., but it's going to be a great day."
yeah, keeping it positive, make it a great
The
day.
yin and the
Yeah.
yang. That's right. You make it a great day because nobody else can.
That's
right.
right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's what you make it. So.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite quote that you live by?
You know, if I had to pick one, I'd say, gosh, there's so many of them I love, but
I know.
But probably the one I guess I'd say I live by is those that don't dare to fail greatly can never achieve greatly.
Yes, that's so true.
So you know,
Yes.
it was RFK said that. So you know, it was just
Yeah.
I don't know. You always feel like you're all in or you're out.
That's right. And what do you have to lose, really? I mean, you
That's-
got to give it your all.
Yeah, you get one life. This isn't like a practice run.
That's
this
right.
Is it. You get one shot at this. So
That
you know,
is
go all in.
so true.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit more about what you're doing at the mall because the Music City Mall in Odessa, if you haven't been, you have to go. It has really gone through a lot of changes over the past few years, and you've implemented a lot of great things, a lot of great family-friendly things, which I love because,
Right.
of course, you know, I've got a bunch of kids. I can make a basketball team pretty much, and you too. so we are kid-friendly, and so is the mall. Tell us what you got going on.
Well, that was one of the biggest things when I became GM at the mall, and I was, you know, of course, we're coming out of the pandemic, and you know, it was like, you know, how do you get people to come back out here and realize that these stores are still here? There's even new ones. The world did not end during COVID,
Right.
You know, and of course, it's a retail environment, so you got to get, you know, people develop some new shopping habits, you know, because just out of a force of necessity during COVID. So, you know, we went all in. You know, we brought in a lot of like family friendly entertainment things, just things for the kids to do.
The rock climbing wall,
Yeah.
the bumpers. There's like a bumper thing for the roller skating rink.
Yeah, so we've got bumper cars.
Bumper cars.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've even got a virtual reality arcade.
Nice.
You know, so I mean, a full fledged, you know, like 15,000 square feet, and so unlike like the Oculus you have at home or something, this is like you can actually sit down in the chair when you're on the roller coaster. It's really turning with you.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
you get the full on experience. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, you know, some of the restaurants took a beating and ended up folding. So we brought in some new restaurant concepts. Some of those are fantastic. We've got the new El Malacan. If you haven't been there,
No.
Oh man,
What
it
is
so
what kind of
good.
food?
So
Because
it's,
you know I love food.
so it's Mexican seafood is their primary, but they do have a traditional menu as well.
Okay.
And they have a television. They've got a full bar, and they've got a television that is like the size of this room. It is huge.
Wow, that's so cool.
And so you can, you know, of course you can see, you know, because a lot of times when you go to a bar, you know, they've got like 15 TVs, but
Yeah.
you're kind of like, especially me, if I take my glasses off, I'm done. And you're squinting trying to see the score or something. This thing
Right.
is just massive.
Oh, that's great.
It's really cool. So there's a lot of neat things. Of course, we had the ice rink when I first started.
Right.
Ice plant died. You know, and
Wah wah wah.
Yeah.
But, and I know that was hard. It was hard for the jackalopes,
Yeah.
you know, because they practiced there, and you know they had to move, and a lot of people love ice skating, and we were the only ice skating rink within
300 miles.
300 miles. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But you had to what Al and I call pivot, right? In business,
Yeah.
you've got to pivot, and you had to come up with something else. So
Right.
how genius to just go, hey, we'll make it a roller skating rink.
Yeah, I mean, the space is there. It's already
Yeah.
got concrete underneath it. Of course, it took us like 2 days to get all the water out of there with the melted ice. But,
Right.
we tried to get a new ice plant, couldn't get one, supply chain issues. It was going to be a year and just like $750,000. It was a huge expense.
Oh my goodness.
And so we said, you know what, we'll pivot. We'll just convert this thing over to a roller rink. And so,
Been great. I mean, you told me. I mean, it's like it just took off running. I mean, it's
It
up
really did.
70%.
yeah, it's traffic. I mean, over 70%.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
And of course, we always had the rink there as part of what draws people to the mall,
Right.
and so, I don't want to compete with my food court tenants. So, a large part of a rink operation in terms of profits is going to be your concessions.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't put in a concession stand. We wanted to, the food court
nice.
tenants to benefit from that. So one of the new things we're doing is called MCM Grub. So it's when you go sit down in the rink, there's a QR code. You can scan it with your phone. Brings up the menu from all the food court tenants. You can order your food. They'll deliver it right over to your table. It's really,
That's
really
really
cool.
cool.
So, everybody, gets to benefit from the rink's operations,
Right.
which has just done. Sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it just so happened when this happened, roller skating's kind of making a comeback.
It is. It's like the cool hip thing to
Yeah.
do. Yeah. I mean, I see adults doing it. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
just for kids. It's not your 70s, 80s roller skating anymore. I mean, you do fun nights.
Yeah.
You do a lot. Did I see disco recently?
Yeah, so
Was
we
it
do
like-
we do an adult night because I
Adult
think
night,
a lot
okay.
of kids,
That's what
a
I
lot of
saw.
people don't want to come out there when they're having to worry about they want to get out there and go fast and do their thing, and they don't want to worry about running over a kid or something.
Right. Turn
like
around,
that.
go backwards, do one of
Yeah.
those spins.
So we did say, okay, we'll do a couple of hours on Sunday evenings after the rink closes. We'll reopen for adult night, and it's just 18 plus, and you come in. But we've been doing themed nights just to try and garner some attention. So we had disco night, we had 80s night.
So cool.
People did not get rid of their parachute pants. I'm shocked. I was floored how many people actually showed up.
They say everything comes back around, Greg.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, bell bottoms, it was just crazy. So I think we have 50s night coming up this weekend, and
Oh, that's so cool.
So we of course we have a live DJ, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So you can come out, the food court's staying open a little later for it. You can come out and eat. And then skate and kind of make a whole date night out of it if you wanted to. It's really a lot of fun.
That
We're
is a
also
lot
about
of
to
fun.
extend the hours for the rink on Fridays and Saturdays just to the general public. We'll start staying open until 11. That's
Cool.
gonna, it's hard to find help right now. So we
Yes.
wanted to do that a long time ago, but it was like, man, I barely staff the hours we're open right now. So without
Right.
really affecting the guest experience.
And I would say that's a West Texas thing, but it's really, it's a everywhere thing. I mean, how do you get more employees? I mean, that is a challenge right now for everybody. But if you're looking for something fun to do, go to the mall.
Yeah, go
That's
to the
right.
mall. There's
They're
something
hiring.
for everybody. Yeah, we're hiring. We're definitely hiring housekeepers, rink staff.
Yeah.
Of course, birthday parties. Oh my goodness. I mean, it was like we reopened and we started booking parties in December, and we were booked through May in like 2 weeks.
Oh my, that's crazy. If you think
It's-
about it.
Yeah. I mean, even during the weekdays and stuff when you normally don't see birthday parties,
Yeah.
we're full.
I think
It's,
everybody's just ready to get back out there.
Absolutely.
What was the biggest thing you learned through COVID?
Oh my gosh. Be careful where you cough.
That's a good. I still to this day I feel so guilty if I cough.
That was-
I'm like, oh no, I'm
So
sorry.
I walk through the
sorry."
mall and I'm like, I could shoot a gun off and not get the looks I get when I cough.
Right.
So, I cough and everybody
true.
stares at you.
Right.
Like, just clear my throat.
Right,
Okay,
right. Really, everything's fine. Everything's good. Yeah, yeah. And what about from a business standpoint?
Yeah, from a business standpoint, is resiliency. It's
Yeah.
key. You got to hang on, and it was tough. I mean, there were
It
so
was.
many people that it took everything they had out of savings just to stay afloat long enough for everything to come back, and just resiliency. Just hang in there.
Yeah.
It does get better.
Yeah.
And of course, every other day there's somebody on the news. Oh, there's another variant. And I'm like,
Like, shh, don't say that.
can't say that out loud. It's
I
like
know.
it's like yelling fire at a theater. So you can't do that,
So true.
But as it turns out, all these new variants that do come up, they're weaker, and
Right.
so okay, fine. I get the cold. It's just like it was before COVID. It's
Right.
going to be fine. We're
Right.
all going to make it through this. It's going to be okay.
Right.
So that's the biggest part of it. But
Yeah.
it's hard when you're in the moment.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a scary time. It
It
really
was.
was. And-
Just everything we did, like we switched our chemicals that we used to clean. We went to a more powerful disinfectant.
Yeah.
And we used to have this like a rubber seal around all the food court tables, and it like melted the rubber.
Oh no.
So we had to go get all new tables and put them in. It was just all these weird things that you
But
just
they
don't
were
think
clean.
about.
It
They were
was clean.
Well, but people would touch them and they would feel sticky, and they would be like, "Ew!" And I'm like, I promise it's clean.
Right.
Yeah, so,
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
It's weird little things that you just never would think
Yeah.
about. I mean, we go in there and electrostatically spray playgrounds, and
Right.
it's just things that like, wow.
Yeah.
But it's become a new habit now. It's just something we do every day. It's crazy.
That is crazy. Well, I'm sitting here today with one of my favorite people, Greg Morgan, who is now the general manager of the Music City Mall, director of construction, and about a million other hats for ICA. But we had the honor of working together for over 10 years doing the morning show. So it's so much fun. Great. It's now time for Question of the day.
Question
Ding, ding, ding. Yes,
of
good
the
luck.
day, okay.
Let's see if you know the answer.
All
No,
right.
really, these questions are just
Oh,
fun.
great. Now, full of
You got the
wisdom.
wise. You got the wise, which you are very wise, Greg. This is perfect for you. What is the most important lesson you've learned in business or life?
Wow.
Wow. Like the number one most important lesson.
There's so many of them, but I think the hardest thing to know is no matter how good you are in business, how hard you work, you cannot do it all yourself.
Oh, that's a good one. That's true.
And of course, as a contractor for many years, I'd hire people, and as soon as I get them trained, they'd go on to different jobs. They'd start their own company, and
Right.
I'd have to start all over. And I finally got to the point where I was like, just fine, I'll do it myself.
Right.
It'll take me longer, but I'll do it myself.
Right.
And then when you become, you start managing almost 1 million square feet of space, you can't do that yourself. There's no way.
Though you've tried. I saw you in there. Like literally, I was in there interviewing him one day, and he had to like go off here and go there, and like he's getting calls on it,
Yeah.
And they're like, they need you. And I know you do. You want to just say, I'll do it, but you can't do it all.
You can't do it all. And so I think that's the biggest thing. So I think for me, the biggest thing I've learned is how to delegate and how to put good people in the places that they're in, and then back them to the max. That's how you succeed.
That's good.
It's a lot of trial and error.
Right.
But and I still have a hard time. We have an operations manager, and I still, have a hard time staying on my side of the fence sometimes. I'm like,
Right.
let's do it this way. And, I'm like, oh, God, okay, I'm sorry.
That is tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, old habits die hard.
Al and I like to say hire your weaknesses. Like you have to know what you're good at, what you're not. Like I know
Right.
there's certain things I know I'm not good at. And so we try to find people that can do that, right?
Right.
So because it
Absolutely.
does, it's teamwork. It takes everybody to make a business go. And
It
so,
does. You have to. I mean, you have to like decorate. One of the biggest things about the mall I found, you used to be like, why are they putting Christmas out? It's October.
Right.
But then I started running the mall, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it takes an entire crew of people 3 weeks to put this stuff up.
Yes.
And if I did it, it would look like Hobby Lobby threw up all over the mall. So, you have to hire a crew of people that are good at that. And it's just, there's so many things that I've learned, but I think the best advice I could give somebody is find the best people you can find.
Yeah.
Hire
Hire your
your
weaknesses.
weaknesses. I don't file. You used to see my desk.
Uh-huh.
You knew what it looked like.
Yep.
Like, my whole idea of filing was shove it in the closest drawer.
Yep. He had a lot of those drawers too.
When I was like 18, my idea of balancing my bank account, I had 2 checking accounts, and I would just let one go dormant for like 6 months. And whatever the bank said I had is what I had. I'm just not good with keeping up with my paperwork. And so,
Right. And if it didn't have paperwork in one drawer, your other drawer had like 20 coffee cups.
coffee and Santa hats. Yeah.
And Santa hats.
That
That's
was
right.
it. Yeah, it was
That's
like,
right.
that was necessities in life, the important things.
The important thing, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. Greg, I have a question for you. If
Okay.
you could go back and ask 20-something Greg Morgan a question or tell him something, what would you tell him?
Don't do it. It's a trap. I think we all, we grow through life, and so, of course, I was married once, divorced once. Now I'm of course, met the love of my life.
Yes.
And I think it was in my late 20s when all that occurred, and I still didn't know what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want.
Right. And that's important. I think that's a good point. It's important to know what you don't want as much as you do what you do want.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I think if you eliminate that, then at least you've got a path to
Right.
look forward to it. So, and it just when I met Melody, my wife, it just kind of happened. We'd known each other for years, professionally,
Right.
But it was just bumped into each other, and then said, oh my gosh, so you'd never know. So I would say don't try to grow up too fast. If I were, look at my 20-something self, just slow down, slow your roll a little bit.
Yeah, good advice.
Because I think you just, now here I'm in my 40s, and I'm not the same person I was in my 30s.
Right.
And you go through changes.
It's like
in
you're
life,
not the same as the 20s.
Right. Yeah. So don't rush it. You'll get there.
That's good advice, and it's cool for me because I feel like you were like a little brother I never had, right? And so I got
The
to
ones
see.
you didn't want.
No. I feel like I saw you grow as a person,
Absolutely.
through those 10 years we worked together, and the happiness that you discovered.
You got to
and
see
so
that.
I got
That
to
was
see
really
that,
cool.
and that's really,
Yeah.
really cool. Greg, I know this is so sad. We're out of time.
I know.
How did this
You
happen?
said it would go by
I
fast.
told you. I was
Yeah.
like, this is gonna, because Greg and I we could fill for literally an hour and a half. Right? Like this.
Yeah.
No script, no teleprompter, nothing.
Especially on Monday mornings. It was always like, it's like the weekend crew just didn't do anything and they left.
Yeah.
And so we come in, there's no news. And we just do it.
Yeah. We just would make, and then remember the time National didn't come on? For some reason, the national feed didn't come. So
Yeah,
they're
it
like,
was like 5 hours.
You need to keep going. We're like, define keep going. How long do we need to keep going?
Yeah, it's like-
just until we tell you to stop. It was
Yeah.
literally like another hour.
It was. I think we went to like 11 o'clock in the morning. It was crazy. Yeah.
That was fun. Good times and good
Yeah.
memories. It's been so much fun having you on, Greg.
It's been fun catching up. Yeah.
And if you would like to reach out to Music City Mall, if you want to go get a great job and work for a great guy, you can find Greg at the Music City Mall. What are your Instagram handles and all that? Facebook, just Music City Mall?
Yeah, just Music City Mall. Of course, if you go to musiccitymall.com, it's going to take you to a page, and you can pick between Music City Mall Louisville or Music City Mall Odessa.
Okay.
So I'm in the Odessa Mall.
Pick Odessa.
Of course.
Always pick Odessa over Louisville. No kidding. Just kidding, my Louisville fans. We
Yes.
whatever,
But, of
friends.
course, we hope you go to Louisville too. But, and you can, of course, all the Facebook handles
Yeah.
and everything. They're all just Music City Mall, and we're always looking for people to perform too. So if
Yes.
it's not just housekeepers and stuff. We hire musicians. Something you just want to. We'll pay you to come out and do something you'd be doing in your living room for an hour anyway.
There you go. He just said that. Call him. Really quick, we do something called Share the Love at the end of each show, where we're going to send a donation on your behalf to a nonprofit that you love. Is there a nonprofit that you'd like us to send that donation to, Greg?
Gosh, there's so many.
I know. We love them all.
I would say any nonprofit that's out there right now can use the money, especially with everything going on in the world.
All right, we will pick one. Will pick one. Probably the YMCA. That's one we
There
like
you
to
go. That's a great
support.
one.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Greg, for the time.
Thank you for having
I
me.
cannot tell you how much fun this has been. It's been just
I'm
like
loving
old
it.
times,
Yeah.
and we would love for you to come back another time and just share some fun, because this is fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you,
Thank
Greg.
you.
And we want to thank our sponsors. If you can, don't forget to follow them. It's West Texas Premix Pits, Rig ID Workwear, and Midland Cap and Cup. Follow them on all their socials. And of course, follow me at Krista Escamilla, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, so we can connect. Let me know who you'd like to sit in this seat right here, and we'll interview them, share their story, and we can support whatever nonprofit you would like us to support. Thanks again for your time. Don't forget my mottos: dream big, believe in yourself, and never give up. You make it a great day.